What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger, man. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to create the 100 plus strength Diming Paint Beast build. Now, before we get any further into this video, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, and I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and smashed that like button. So we're going to go ahead and make this build like a 2K21 Paint Beast type build. Now, I'm going to go with 6'8", 254 for the weight. Then when it comes down to the wingspan, I like 7'6". Now, yes, you can make any adjustments to your own liking as we go along the build, but I'm telling you, you're definitely going to want to make it exactly how I'm bringing it to y'all today. Now, with this build, we're going to be able to get a lot of 99 stats, especially when it comes down to the defensive end. Now, with this build, when it comes down to the physicals, the main thing that I did focus on was going to be the speed, strength, as well as the vertical. Now, not only are we going to be able to get a few 99 overall stats out of the main areas on this build, but we're also going to be able to get every single contact dunk in the game. Now, when it comes down to the speed, you can go anywhere from 70 up to the highest. Then when it comes down to the acceleration, I'm going to max this out. Now remember, a 100 plus strength Paint Beast build. We're going to go with a 96 strength. Once we get that gym rat badge, that's going to boost us up to 100, and right there we're going to be set. Now for the vertical, go with an 82, and that's going to allow us to get all of the contact dunks once we adjust the finishing. But as far as for the stamina, anywhere from 85 and up is going to be perfect. Now I'm telling y'all, on the defensive area, we have everything that we're going to need. You're going to be able to guard builds 1 through the 5. Now when it comes down to the perimeter and the interior defense, these are going to be 2 of the main key stats on this build. So if you want to, make sure you're following along exactly how I'm bringing it to y'all. Now, I did say you're able to make your own adjustments as we go throughout the build making, but before we do that, man, go ahead and create it exactly how I'm bringing it to y'all. Then after, once we get the actual build name, you can make any adjustments to your own liking. Now, right here on the defensive end, we're going to be able to get a 99 interior defense, perimeter defense, block, as well as an offensive and defensive rebound. Now, I'm considering a 99 because once you add on the takeovers, when activated, you're going to be able to get a plus 10 put towards certain areas of this build. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, I'm making sure that I'm raising my pass accuracy so that way I'm able to hit people on the fast break. Then also, we're going to be able to get a few playmaking badges out of this build as well. Now, we're close to a 70 ball handle, so you're definitely going to be able to move as well as dribble a little bit. But when it comes down to the finishing, we're going to get a 99 standing dunk as well as a 99 driving dunk. Now, this build overall, I'm telling you, a perfect 1v1 type build. Now, this one is made for people who just want to straight up play defense as well as finish at the rim. Now, I know there's going to be some of y'all who did have a 2K21 Paint Beast build, and if you were one of those, go ahead and let me know in the comments. This is going to be exactly what we were used to seeing back with the original Paint Beast that we used to see back in 2K21. Now, overall on this build, I feel like it's much better from what we are used to seeing, especially when it comes down to the pass accuracy. You're not going to have to worry about throwing the ball, but more so, even when it comes down to the finishing, we get a good amount of badges on the Hall of Fame tier when it comes down not only for the finishing, but the defense as well. And I'm telling you, when it comes down to the actual badge setup, that's probably one of the most exciting things about this build in my opinion. Now, going furthermore, I'm telling y'all, we get Hall of Fame Bully on this build, also Posterizer. Now, as long as you like the setup of badges when you recreate this build to your own liking, make sure that you're going with anything based to your own play style, as well as something that's going to be comfortable for you. But overall, I feel like this build is going to be great for anybody who just wants to pick it up and play, especially if you're making this as your first build. Definitely one of the best defenders all around. You're going to be able to guard people up at the perimeter, especially with that 81 defense. But when it comes down to these takeovers, look, we get the lockdown. So again, if you get this one, we're going to be able to get a plus 10 put towards our perimeter defense and the steal. Then when it comes down to the rim protecting, that'll give us a boost towards our block. And then we also get the glass cleaning. Now, whichever takeovers you decide to go with, make sure it's something that's based to your own liking and that makes sense. So since we already have that 99 block, I'm going to go with first paint intimidation takeover. Now we also do get some really good rebounding stats, but I want to be sure that I know where the ball is going to be going when my takeover is activated. So I'm going to go with see the future takeover for the glass cleaning, and I'm telling you, these are going to be the 2 best takeovers in what I think is going to be best starting out with this build. Now you can change them to your own liking, but let's go ahead and check out the actual build name to make sure we made it correctly. And if you followed along with every single detail and stat, we're going to be able to get the same exact build name. And as you can see, together we have created the one and only best Diming Paint Beast build. And remember, we get all of the elite contact dunks, all of the elite alley-oops. Also, when it comes down to this badge count, I'm telling you, we're going to have one of the best badge layouts when it comes down to the defensive end, but also more so when it comes down to the finishing. So really quick, let's just go ahead and consider what this build is going to be looking like once you add boost as well as activate your takeover. So since we did pick a rim protecting as well as the glass cleaning, we're going to be able to get a +10 towards our interior as well as the glass cleaning stats, which will be the rebounding and the block. Now, if you did go with the lockdown takeover, you'll be able to bring up that perimeter defense into the 90s, buy boost, and run with teammates that are going to have the badges that give you a +4 towards your defensive area. You definitely have the potential to have a 95+ perimeter defense. Now, for a build that's able to play big man as well as switch on top to the perimeter, this is the best all-around lockdown in my opinion in what I have seen so far. But from here, let's go ahead and get into the actual breakdown of which badges we're going to be using on this build. So as you can see already, starting out for the finishing, Back Down Punisher as well as Rise Up are both going to be on Hall of Fame. Then if you take a look, we're also able to add on Fast Twitch. That's going to be 3 Hall of Fame badges. Now for tier 3, take on Bully Hall of Fame as your core badge. Then you're also going to be able to put on Posterizer on Hall of Fame as well. And I'm telling you, this is the best finishing badge setup that I have seen all year. 4 Hall of Fame, and one of them is going to be a core. Perfect that we get it to be Bully. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, I did not upgrade this area of the build on purpose. I wanted to be sure that I was making it like a true Paint Beast type build. Now, for the playmaking, we're definitely going to be able to use some good badges out of this area. To start out, I'm going to go with Silver Vice Grip. Now from here, you can go with Hyperdrive on Silver as well. Now when it comes down to the playmaking, a badge that I have not heard from in a while is going to be Floor General on Hall of Fame. And that's going to be really solid to work with on this build, especially if you're running the 3s or even the 5s. Now overall, you can change the badge setup that I'm going with originally, but this is a pretty good setup to start out with, especially if you're looking to spread the wealth, and more so when it comes down to pass the ball on the offensive end. Now right there, you can go with Hall of Fame Break Started. That's another solid badge to work with, especially since we have that high pass accuracy. Going to be super clutch. Now also, I'm going to go with the core badge of Bailout. I feel like this is going to be super good on this build, especially when it comes down to rebounding and throwing the ball out quick. Now when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the best defensive badge layouts that you're going to be seeing all year. Now to get started, I'm going to go with one of the most important badges, and for me that's going to be Chase Down Artist on Hall of Fame. Now from there, I'm also going to go with Box Out Beast. Then when it comes down to Brick Wall, you need to throw this badge on Hall of Fame as well. Now we have a good amount of remaining badges, so if you want to spread the wealth, you definitely can do that, but remember, you're going to be using this build on the inside as well as at the top of the perimeter. So I'm going to go with Post Moves Lockdown. Then from there, you can also run on Pogo Stick. Now tier 3, you have a few different badges that you can pick from. Now for my liking, I'm going to go with Rebound Chaser as well as Anchor as the 2 badges that I would pick. But then that means we have 2 extra badges left over to spread the wealth. So whichever core badge you decide to go with out of the tier 3, make sure it's either Anchor or Rebound Chaser, then you're going to be set to go. Now for my liking, I'm going to go with Rebound Chaser as the core badge. The badge that I'm going to use actual points on will be Anchor. And now from here, we're all set to go. This is essentially somewhat of the main and final badge layout is going to be looking like. As you can see, we get a good amount of badges towards the defensive area. Now remember, for the finishing as well, we have a good amount of Hall of Fame badges, but then also consider that with every single contact dunk unlocked in the game, from Pro all the way up to Elite. Now as far as for the badge setup on the defensive end, I did lower Post Lockdown, so that way I was able to add on Pogo Stick. Still able to maintain a few of the original Hall of Fame badges that I wanted, but when it comes down to the layouts that I did show y'all for the badges, if you want to change anything up to your own liking, you definitely can do so. For example, when it comes down to the playmaking, if you want to go ahead and throw on Dimer on the Hall of Fame tier, that's definitely going to be a huge help, especially when passing the ball out. Now, if you want to change break starter as well, that's another way that you can go about it, just so you're able to put on Hall of Fame Dimer. Now, this leaves us with a few extra badges, so that's why I always say, if you want to spread the wealth, this is going to be the perfect build to work with. Now, overall for the finishing, I feel like we have everything that we need. I will not change anything, especially because there are already 4 Hall of Fame badges. But again, once you add on that extra core badge, we have 5 out of the finishing. And honestly, this is probably the best paint beast that I have seen all year. Now again, if you made it to the end, man, go ahead and let me know in the comments what y'all thought about this build. And if you're going to be making it, let me know what tweaks and adjustments you're going to be making as well. But before anything else, man, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Thank y'all, the Rich family, for showing out every single day. And I got another video dropping for y'all tomorrow. So, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. And turn on post notifications so you don't miss any uploads that I'm bringing to y'all. And let's go ahead and reach at least 100 likes on this video. I know that we can do it. But again, comment down TG for thank God if you made it to the end. And with all that being said, man, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.